Islam, peace and love. I am Sade Renee L. Thank you for tuning into my channel, and I'm back at it again with another video. Today I'm going to do a quick video in regards to this birth certificate. Again, I self-delivered my baby. I never signed a de facto, so I never autographed a de facto U.S. Corporation birth certificate to lock her in as a corporation, yet alone chattel. All my birth certificates, I have a certificate of live birth. I also have a Moorish Birth Certificate, and I also have written an affidavit of live birth, which was sent to Vital Statistics. Now, I'm going to go over all this information because, again, the court is trying to make my daughter a corporation. They're already holding her hostage for profit. And in regards to continuously the treason, they're trying to create a social security number for her. So I'm going to go over their documents. I'm going to go over mine. Also, side note, I want to say thank you to my donations. Very highly appreciated. Thank you to Sister Wanel Thomas Bay. Highly appreciated. Brother TL. Namaste, namaste. And El Baka B. Bay, you are very, very appreciated. Much gratitude, brother. Highly, highly, highly appreciated. Namaste. All right, and I don't want to just keep talking. Let me get straight to the video. That's what y'all came here for, right? All right, so with that being said, please like, share, subscribe. Go ahead and leave a positive comment. Leave a negative one if you want to. Hey, it just makes my numbers go up. It's the trolls for me. And all right, so this is my copy. As you can see, it was dated 5/17/2021. It has been filed with the acting as Clerk of Court, Steve Gerson. On the left hand side, we have here Stephen B. Wolfson acting as District Attorney of Nevada, State Bar number 1565 de facto. We also have here Stephanie Richard acting as Chief Deputy District Attorney, de facto, State Bar number 12075. If we skip down to line 10, we have here Ase Divine Kellogg Tharp in all capital letters, which again signifies a corporation, not a living human being. And that is a nom de guerre, and that's also her straw man. If we skip down to line 13, I'll go ahead and read as follows. Motion for order directing the Nevada Office of Vital Statistics to create and issue a birth certificate. Line 15 comes now. The Clark County Department of Family Services, the department, through Michelle Polino and Stephen B. Wolfson, District Attorney of Clark County, State of Nevada, by and through Stephanie Richard, Chief Deputy District Attorney, and hereby applies for an order to have the State of Nevada Department of Health and Human Services, Division of Health, Office of Vital Statistics create a certificate for Ase Kellogg Tharp, a minor ward of this court, in custody of the Clark County Department of Family Services. This motion is based upon the points and authorities attached hereto, the first affidavit of Yvette Strokes, and the documents contained in the court's file. And this looks like it was dated 17th of May, 21. Again, de facto Stephen B. Wolfson acting as District Attorney, and de facto Stephanie Richard acting as Chief Deputy District Attorney. All right, and just a side note, in regards to ward of a court, quote unquote, an important aspect of ward of the court status is determining who has legal custody of the child. If the court has taken custody of the child is a ward of the court. The court might assume, that's a very good trigger word right there, key word, the court might assume custody of the child because it is found that the parents are unable to properly care for the child. If the child remains in legal custody of the parents, legal custody, another trigger word, because I am still her legal guardian. I am still her legal parent. My parental rights have not been terminated. I'll read as follows. The child is not a ward of the court, even if the court imposes its authority over the child. All right, so let's pause again for a moment and speak upon the birth certificate. Now, this information can be found at rvbaypublications.com, and I'll read as follows. The birth certificate is an instrument of human trafficking. It is administered from a private agency. Although many think it is the government, it is not. It is the foreign corporate state that concludes with the hospitals to create a certificate of each child born and then turn it over to the corporate state for them to record as public record under their jurisdiction. Any instruments administered from a corporation places you under the jurisdiction of a corporation and thereby identifies you as a corporation or property or corporation chattel. The highest form of identification is the footprint or thumbprint. This is why they utilize a footprint on a birth certificate for your child. They stamp it onto the certificate created and established under the jurisdiction of a corporation, which makes your child a corporation at birth, thus human trafficking. Therefrom, they deny your child's right of birth and violate your liberties and their liberties. It is all done in a methodological matter, which misleads the unsuspecting and unknowing natural people into believing they must have a birth certificate when they do not. They create a birth record, but do not give you that. They only give you the certificate. A birth record and a birth certificate are two different things. They keep the birth records as their property. You can create your own birth record or record of birth in regards to your child, and you put it on the public record yourself or not. A birth certificate absolutely implies an exchange, as in a bill of exchange, as is a bond, human bondage. Now remember, when you know better, you do better. All right, so now I'm going to play a quick snippet of some information that's very important in regards to birth certificate fraud. This information has been provided by Brother Odom Layrib. And I've actually included this information in a few videos previously, but the information is so important, I just want to go ahead and reshare it. And I'm going to go ahead and just let him explain to you in regards to birth certificates.
You see, this certificate represents the title because it cannot be both the thing it represents and the thing itself. Now I want to show you something that happened here. After you sign the birth certificate, it becomes a warehouse receipt for human goods. Now, the hospital, for every one that they turn in to the county, they get $4,000. And there's a value of, in the beginning, it was $625,000 placed on that birth certificate. Now it's gone up to $1 million. So the hospital gets $4,000 for each birth certificate they turn in. And once that birth certificate is made, guess whose name is put in? It's not put in your name. I'm speaking of whoever got a birth certificate. That birth certificate don't have your name on it. It has what is known as your straw man's name on it. What is a straw man? The straw man is a legal fiction. You see, because from now on, what has been established to run the world has been corporations.
All right. Again, shout out to that brother. Very noble. He spoke nothing but facts. So moving right along to this de facto letter I received in regards to them trying to use my daughter as chattel and fiat, I'll read and I'll continue reading as follows. Excuse me, that's what I was trying to say. So it says here, points and authorities. Ase Divine Kellogg Tharp, once again, it's a straw man, she's in all capitals, was made a ward of the juvenile court and placed into the custody of the Department of Family Services on or about September 21st, 2020. Again, I already went over the ward of court and I've already explained to you what a birth certificate is. On April 21st, 2020, Department Investigator Yvette Stokes, hereinafter Stokes, was assigned to the case involving the mother, Sara Kellogg Tharp, and the child, Ase Divine Kellogg Tharp. Interesting enough, those straw mans are actually not in all capitals, but I'll continue reading. During the investigation, Stokes was advised by the mother, Sara Kellogg Tharp, again, that's my nom de guerre, ex-relatone, that she had given birth on August 8, 2019 to Ase Divine Kellogg Tharp at a home in Las Vegas, Clark County, Nevada, with no medical assistance. Now I'm going to stop right there because that is in fact a lie. For the record, I did not birth my child in or at the Nevada territory. She was born in and at Califia, known to most as California. She is a product of not only me, the divine creator, but she can never be a ward of Nevada when she's not born in Nevada. So I don't see how they're trying to create a Nevada birth certificate when she wasn't even born here. But I'll continue reading. Also, the mother, Sade Kellogg Tharp, again, ex-Relatone, advised Stokes that after her birth of Ase Divine Kellogg Tharp, the mother did not seek medical attention for herself or the child. Due to a home birth and no medical follow-up, a birth certificate was never created for Ase Divine Kellogg Tharp. And we're going to look at Exhibit 1 in a minute. And I'll pause right there. I'll go to my rebuttal, but also for the record, while we're here, I never spoke to Yvette about home birthing. I never spoke to Yvette about any hospital care. I did, in fact, use my rights to remain silent. All I gave Yvette was information on emergency contacts, someone to pick the baby up while I was personally being kidnapped by by Las Vegas Metropolitan Police, de facto pirates. You know what they are, de facto highwaymen. So that's the only information that I gave Yvette for the record. But I'll continue to read the lies. So it says here, line 15, to the department's knowledge, a birth certificate had never been issued for Ase Divine Kellogg Tharp. The department is seeking permanency for Ase Divine Kellogg Tharp and finds it necessary to ask the court for an order to create a birth certificate in effort to provide her with necessary services and permanence. Ase Divine Kellogg Tharp is unable to receive a social security card without a birth certificate. Also, again, for the record, there's no need to seek for permanency because I am the divine creator. She belongs to me, and I'm demanding her back in my care. Now, if they want to continue with the fraud, again, I've had over 20 people, including friends and family, reach out to Child Family Services, Las Vegas, for the record, trying to get my baby so she can be with kin, she can be with people who knows her culture. Again, for the record, Ase Divine L is currently being held hostage for profit by Sara Da Lue. This is a European lady who is currently watching my baby, and she is trying and attempting to adopt her. All right, and let's just take a quick pause so I can go over a Social Security, because a Social Security number is also not needed or necessary. You can also verify this information on rvbaypublications.com or just do your own studies. And I'll read as follows. Even the IRS, which is an accounting firm for hire, is a corporation. You, the natural people, do not have to participate in making contributions to them or in participating with the Social Security Administration, which is also not government. You do not have to show proof of existence of the Moors being the Aboriginal people, as it is already recorded in the congressional records as well. As for the Constitution, all authority is delegated. There exists no authority to deny the people's rights, which is an act of breaking the law, acting in fraud, and committing treason and genocide. Thus, any person who does so can be personally and professionally liable and sued for said violations. All right, then it says here, conclusion. Based on the foregoing, the department respectfully requests that the court order the State of Nevada Department of Health and Human Services, Division of Health, Office of Vital Statistics be directed to issue a birth certificate for the child, Ase Divine Kellogg Tharp, born August the 8th, 2019, to Sade Kellogg Tharp in Las Vegas, Clark County, Nevada. And it was dated the 17th of May. And again, all right, and before we move further, I also want to give another quick snippet of a video that I came across. And this is in regards to, again, birth certificate fraud. And I'm just going to go ahead and let her do the explaining. And let's see, here we go.
In order for these corporations, such as the United States of America Corporation, check that out on Dunn and Bradstreet, in order for them to have joinder, basically, have joinder with you, you have to be a corporation, or your name has to be a corporation in order for them to do a contract with you or operate in commerce with you. Because a corporation cannot attack a human being, a living man or a living woman. You have to be in a contract, and which is what your parents did. They ended up signing you over to the state without knowing. Me too. I'm just as guilty, okay? So let me go ahead and read a little background here about what the birth certificate is that Yara brought up. It's really interesting. He got it from this article. So registration means enrollment. For example, students register to enroll in a school, which gives them certain rights and obligations. When it comes to the birth certificate, you're registering to enroll in the private federal democracy of the District of Columbia, aka the United States. You're registering to become a federal 14th Amendment U.S. citizen.
All right, and again, nothing but the truth, nothing but facts, coming from a European as well. How about that? And now I'm going to go over what I filed. So of course, since they filed paperwork, it's my duty to go ahead and rebut it line for line, which I did. So I'll go over that information right now, and I will just read it as follows. So as you can see, it was filed with the Clerk of Court. I have my 2-cent stamp on there. Everything has been, I put everything in red, but of course it's been scanned, so that's why it came out black. Again, it has been filed with the Clerk of Court, acting as, his name is Steve Gerson. And as you can see, I dated this May 27th. This is the motion for birth certificate is denial petition. And I'll go ahead and read as follows. As it says here, District Court, Family Divisions, Juvenile, Clark County, Nevada, in the matter of Ase Divine L, a Moor/foreign national, in proper persona, date of birth 8/8/2019. Ase Divine L, once again in proper persona, a child property of Sara Da Lue L, me, a Moor, foreign national. Also, number 12, natural mother name, Sara Da Lue L, all rights are reserved, known to them as Sade Kellogg Tharp. Also, all rights are reserved. I own the straw man. Also here, line 13, motion denied by natural mother to create a de facto birth certificate comes now. A state's jurisdiction and local municipality jurisdiction is quasi-national. Moors, Aboriginal, Indigenous, Natural Peoples matters are national and international. Michelle Polino, Stephen B. Wolfson, Stephanie Charter, and Stephanie Richer do not have jurisdiction over free, natural, living, breathing human beings. Michelle Polino, Stephen B. Wolfson, Stephanie Charter, and Stephanie Richer have failed to place on record, to produce for the record, the physical, documented delegation of authority as proof of jurisdiction as required by law per Article 3, Section 1 of the United States Republic Constitution. In failure, Ase Divine L is not a ward of the court due to lack of proof. In failure, Ase Divine L is not a ward of a court due to lack of proof of jurisdiction over a free, natural, living being. This motion again is denied by natural mother Sade Renee L. Mother is demanding the immediate return of her child/property, Ase Divine L, known to you as Ase Kellogg Tharp. And again, it was dated the 27th of the Gregorian calendar. As you can see, I went ahead and autographed it, all rights reserved, with my red thumbprint. Also, just a side note, just a friendly reminder for everyone. In the Declaration of the Rights of the Child, Principle 3, it states, every child has the right to a name and nationality. Also, in Article 6, it states, every indigenous individual has the right to a nationality. All right, and now I'm going to continue with my rebuttal and then all right, and now I'm going to continue with the rebuttal and my denied points in regard to this de facto court having no authority over natural living beings. Number 1, Ase Divine L is a Moor/foreign national, is not a corporation but a living being who was not lost at sea and not a 14th Amendment citizen. CFS Las Vegas kidnapped Ase Divine L June 28th of 2020 and is currently holding her hostage for profit. In May 2020, de facto Department Stateless Person Investigator Yvette Stokes was assigned to a fraudulent case involving Mother Divine Creator Sade Renee L., a Moor/foreign national who is protected by the Treaty of Peace and Friendship of 1836, known to you as Nam Digir Sade Kellogg Tharp, all capitals. Yvette Stokes never spoke to Mom about a birth certificate. The conversation only included emergency contact information so the child/property could be with friends and family, as Mom was getting kidnapped by a color of authority, color of law corporation. Divine Creator Sade Renee L. never spoke to Yvette Stokes about the delivery of her offspring/property, as it was an irrelevant subject. Again, we never spoke upon that subject, so I'm not too quite sure why she's lying. Nonetheless, number 10, Mother never spoke to Yvette Stokes in regards to hospital care as she executed her right to be silent, again, for the record. The only conversation that took place between Yvette Stokes and Divine Creator Sade Renee L., for the record, was information for Byron Miles and Colette Tharp to be contacted in regards to Mom being kidnapped and a family member or friend to take care of her while Mom is getting released. Sade Renee L. had her offspring/property at a home in California Republic Territory. She did not birth Ase Divine L at Nevada Republic Territory. Number 13, again, I'll show you a little down the road, but we're going to look at Exhibit 1, and that's the Affidavit of Truth, the live birth. Number 14, for the record, Ase Divine L has a record of birth. Number 15, via Family Living Bible and a Moorish Birth Certificate. See Exhibit 2 and 3. Sade Renee L. is demanding the immediate return of her property, Ase Divine L., known to you as Ase Kellogg Tharp, all capitals. Number 17, the court, which is not a Article 3 court, has no jurisdiction to create a birth certificate. The United States birth certificate is an instrument of human trafficking. The U.S. birth certificate is administered from a private agency. Any instruments administered from a corporation identifies a person as corporation or chattel. Number 20, Ase Divine L is a living being, and blood runs through her veins as her heart beats. Record of birth has been created and placed on public record. See Exhibit 4 for certified mail information sent to Vital Statistics of California. In conclusion, based on the falsified documents, treason, and lack of jurisdiction, Mother Divine Creator is demanding the immediate return of her property, Ase Divine L, a more American and proper persona, Nam Digir Ase Kellogg Tharp. This is an international treaty matter which comes under the jurisdiction of the Consulate of Morocco at the Nevada State Republic, and our national Ase Divine L is to be immediately released by such consular jurisdiction per Article 6 and 20 of the Treaty of Peace and Friendship of 1836 between the United States of North America and the Moroccan Empire, which aver the following. Article 6, in the relevant part. If any more not a subject of these dominions shall make prize of any of the citizens of America or their effects, and bring them into any of the ports of his majesty, they shall be immediately released, as they will be considered under his majesty's protection. Article 20. If any citizens of the United States or any person under the protection shall have any disputes with each other, the council shall decide between the parties. And whenever the council shall require any aid or assistance from our government to enforce his decisions, it shall immediately be granted to him. Now, in the case of Colgrave versus Oregon, which the Supreme Court of the United States stated the following: a state cannot refuse to give foreign nationals their treaty rights because of fear of valid international agreements may possibly not completely work to their satisfaction of state authorities. Under the Supremacy Clause of the United States Constitution, Article 6, Clause 2, state policies must give way to overriding federal treaties and conflicting arrangements. And I dated that the 27th of the Gregorian calendar, May 2021. And also a side note about Solomon. If you're, aware of Solomon and the key of Solomon, Solomon ordered the child to be divided between them. The false mother agreed, and the true mother said no. Solomon gave the child to the true mother. Also, in closing, the court and its members and petitioners have not provided Sade Renee L. with proper due process afforded by treaty and constitution. I, Sade Renee L., all rights reserved, I am demanding the immediate return of my property with all charges dropped and for all judges, hearing masters, actors, agents, members of the Bar Associated and their nonprofits to cease and desist all prosecution and harassing letters. Now that is ordered. It is ordered. Again, my autograph, red thumbprint, in proper persona. So just a little side note, another side note in regards to natural rights. Again, she was initially kidnapped and they fraudulently charged me for child abuse / neglect. It's a statute, a Nevada State Statute 432. And in regards to statutes and codes, they're not laws. Statutes and codes are not laws. They're man-made. And again, natural living beings are free. We do not have to follow quote-unquote man-made's law. No judge, no court, no one has jurisdiction over free natural living beings. I'm actually going to play another snippet. Gosh, can I talk? From Brother Odom LaRib, and I'm just going to let him go ahead and explain some more.
All right? So we've been given this. It's the supreme law of the land. Now, let me read something to you here. On page 7 of this little booklet. On page 7 of the little booklet, I'm going to step up a little bit too, because I got a lot of information I want to throw out here to you. Taking the shotgun approach here, we're going to boom, put it out here now. And as I said, it's food for thought and grounds for further research. Page 7, law of the land. Now this excerpt is taken from something that you can find in any law library, called the 16th American Jurisprudence, the 2nd edition, section 177. And it says the general misconception. Now when we say general misconception, that means that everybody just about thinks this. Or as we said, nearly about everybody thinks this, right? Almost everyone thinks this. See, I know how to do it either way. The general misconception is that any statute passed by legislators bearing the appearance of law constitutes the law of the land. What is that saying? The general misconception. Everybody is getting some wrong information here. Because most people think that anything that legislators pass, any statute that bears the appearance of law. Now when we talk about something having the appearance of, it's just like you got some men walking around that have the appearance of a woman. And at first sight, you look at them, you think that's a woman. Well, that's called a misconception. But upon further investigation, I don't know how far, but upon further investigation, you find out that it wasn't what it appeared to be. So no, you no longer call it what you used to call. You no longer call him a woman. You say that's a man in woman's clothing. So what we have here, it says we got a lot of statutes that are palmed off on us as laws. And we obey them as such because we want to be lawful, you know, we're law-abiding citizens. I ain't never been in trouble with the police. But it says here that they bear the appearance of law. Now, in legal terminology, which we've got to start learning that too. And the best way you're going to learn it is you're going to have to get you a dictionary.
Getting back to the exhibits, again, I went ahead and submitted the proper paperwork in regards to my daughter, my offspring, my property, having a live birth certificate. And as you see here, this is Exhibit 1. This is the affidavit of truth / live birth. It was dated 5/27, and it has been sent and delivered to Vital Statistics in Califia / California. It just reads as follows. I, Sade Renee L., attest to the fact that I had a home birth at California Territory. I am the divine creator, mother of Ase Divine L., who I birthed in California. For the record, she was born August 8th in California. This is her certificate of live birth. You see the autograph, and it has been again certified. It has been mailed, and today being Thursday, it has been received. It was received on the 1st, so 2 days ago. All right, scrolling down here, we have Exhibit 2. Look at that. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Now, this is the Moorish Science Temple of America record of live birth. As you can see as well, I did have 2 witnesses sign, 2 nationals at that, and I went ahead and autographed. They autographed, and we have all the proper fingerprints and footprints. Again, that has been certified, mailed to the Clerk of Court, acting as Steve Gerson of Vital Statistics, and the acting as judge. Now, if we scroll down, we have this lovely, lovely Holy Bible. Now, this is a Bible that has been in my family, gosh, I can't even tell you how long, but I know it's older than me. It's probably double my age, and I'm still young. But with that being said, the Holy Bible is actually something that I have always had her information in. So for me and my family, we put our birth certificates in our Holy Bible, and we consider it a living Bible birth certificate. So this is our record of live birth. Again, it's the Holy Bible. As you can see, Mr. Elmo Tharp, that is my late grandfather. This was actually his Bible. Very, very old Bible again. Scrolling down again, we have pretty much my timeline. I'm not going to go too much into that for personal reasons, but as you can see, that's our living Bible. My daughter, child, offspring / property is listed in the living Bible, and you can Google any information in regards to living Bibles. They are considered legal live birth records. And Stephanie Richard, the lady who wanted to become a party to the matter, I actually have not sent her avertment of jurisdiction because this is the first time that she put her name on my paperwork. So again, now that she wants to be a party to the matter, not a problem. I'll go ahead and just let you know again for the record that you have no jurisdiction over free national people. And if you do, go ahead and provide me that information. Place it on record for the record as proof required by Article 3, Section 1 of the United States Republic Constitution. As all government entities and alleged private corporations must be a creature of the American Constitution, this is a formal request and demand and command for Stephanie Richard, State Bar number 12075, to produce for the record, again, the delegation of authority. And keep in mind, whoever have taken an oath before a competent tribunal, officer, or person, in any case which a law of the United States authorizes the oath to be administered, willfully and contrary to such oath, states or subscribes any material matter which he does not believe to be true, is guilty of perjury and shall be fined no more than $2,000 or imprisoned not more than 5 years, or both. That's 18 USC. And I went ahead and I included my fee. So it's actually $1 million, or a million notes, Federal Reserve notes, a day. And again, failure to produce this information constitutes corporate and limited liability insurance fraud, 15 USC, and is a prime facie evidence and grounds to impose a lien upon the official personal to secure their public oaths and service of offer. Again, and my personal fee is $1 million a day. Further say it not, as I scroll down, you can see that this information has been notarized. It has been notarized, and in the notary, I included, in this whole document that I mailed and got e-filed, I included the motion for birth certificate petition. It's 5 pages. The affidavit of the affidavit of truth / live birth, the Moorish American birth certificate, the living Bible birth, that's 3 pages, and the vital statistics affidavit of live birth, and the avertment of jurisdiction for Stephanie Richard. Altogether, I sent out 12 pages in total. With this notary, it includes 14, and as you see, I just added the affidavit of fact in regards to certificate of service. Again, it has been certified mail and e-filed to all the appropriate parties. All right, so in closing, again, I have provided the proper information in regards to my daughter, my offspring, my property, Ase Divine, all rights reserved. The fact that the court has received this document and documents, and they still are continuing with the fraud. Again, I've liened them. They have been liened, and I have some other things set up, so I'll just keep you guys posted with that once I go about it, because you know me, I always put it on public record, also for my protection and for the record purposes. With that being said, another act of treason, CFS Las Vegas has committed treason and genocide to my family. For the record, I am demanding the immediate return and release of my daughter, period. In closing as well, just want to state off some facts in regards to corporations or persons, as the word is used for the first clause of the 14th Amendment. Therefore, if you're operating with the 14th Amendment, you are saying loudly you are a corporation. And in regards to Prophet Noble Drew Ali, shout out to him, there is no need for the application of the 14th and 15th Amendment for the salvation of our people and citizens. Also, Rights of Indigenous People, Part 2, Article 8. Indigenous people have the collective and individual right to maintain and develop their distinct identities and characteristics, including the right to identify themselves as indigenous and to be recognized as such. All right, and if you haven't hit the like button by now, please like, share, subscribe. Go ahead and leave a positive comment. Thank you for your time and energy. Free baby Ase, she should be home any day now. Any day now. All right, free baby Ase. Thank you for your time. Islam.